Hey guys, me again. So Roe v. Wade was overthrown in the US yesterday, I believe, and maybe the day before, and which could have detrimental effects for the Repeal the 8 movement, because we've done little to nothing with the legislation, and as we know, we tend to mirror a lot of not our government do a lot of the laws in the US, i.e. the water charges, which they basically copy and pasted from a city in Chicago. And the smoking ban was another one brought in New York, and it's now nationwide here, obviously, for the last couple of years. And there's quite a few more laws that they tend to imitate. So we could be looking at a new referendum for the repeal movement soon enough, I would think. And the time limitation now is just about to elapse, if it hasn't elapsed already, on the repeal movement anyway. So yeah, in 1973, the Roe v. Wade was introduced by the Supreme Court, funnily enough, who basically gave the rights to women for a hassle-free abortion from the government. Now, they immediately regretted that decision, and from the day after, literally, they decided it was going to be their job to overturn it. So they did, by getting everyone in place, and eventually in 2022, they got it overturned. A woman's right to abortion isn't just saying she wants to get rid of a child just because she has the right to. You have to look at conditions where a woman needs an abortion to actually stay alive. They could be serious genetic or structural conditions, complications that pose significant threat to the woman's life. Many women and couples don't actually like the word determination, because to describe the experience, because it makes it implies really that they had more of a choice in the matter than they realistically had to begin with. Others where waters have broke early in the woman, an infection can appear in the uterus and it can spread to the blood and become septic. A woman will need an abortion if she wants to stay alive. Placental disruption. The placenta separates from the wall and a woman may be bleeding heavily and go into a hemorrhagic shock. She will need an abortion to stay alive. Not her choice, maybe, but she will need it. Preeclampsia is another one. It's pretty it can be pretty one of the highest, or one of the most regularly known conditions where a woman might have an abortion. That's due down to high blood pressure and signs of organ damage, and in that case a woman may need an abortion. So to deflect from this, at the moment, the far right, or even the right in America, are touting racism among the Democratic left, and in the smallest senses, such as well, not something like Martha Stewart coming out talking about white judges. Well, she wasn't. She was answering a tweet or something about white judges, and she happened to say, well, there's one of those judges not white, but he doesn't know what he is. And that's touted as racism, apparently. Now, for your standard rebel flag bearing, white sheet wearing, redneck who will troll through the internet looking for this stuff, what he doesn't realise, or she doesn't realise, is that the law was just passed is going to affect them as well. That it is not just Democrats that they think are going to feel this. There's a reason why Donald Trump loved the uneducated, because they'll vote for him through fear, and they'll think everything he's doing is as right as rain. But it's not. It is far from that. And the fact that we knew the outcome of the Supreme Court decision before it was actually voted on just goes to show that all this is done behind closed doors. There is no... it's just rich old white men and women doing what they do. They don't really care. There's no separation of religion or state, because in most cases the multitude of millionaires in evangelistic circles and every other circle of religious beliefs over there are basically paying members of Senate and the House or whatever to make decisions for them. Another issue is that this isn't just now. I mean, Texas passed the 6-week abortion law. Now, this is stupid on so many levels, because a lot of women don't even realize they're pregnant by 6 weeks. A lot of women who do miss their period by a day or so mightn't take a pregnancy test because they might believe it's down to stress or other social factors in their lives. So by the time they would have checked, there's a possibility, and it's a normal it's a normal occurrence with women, that women are usually 8 weeks or plus pregnant before they even know they're pregnant, because it's not down to just being militant about how you take the test and stuff. It boils down to everything, you know, work, stress, eating habits, everything. But obviously, Abbott and his rich old white men in the US, in Texas, have other issues or other takes on this. So they rolled out that law in Texas, and now Roe v. Wade has been overthrown, and there is going to be a rollout in 22 more states. Now, depending on when they believe life begins, some people think life begins at fertilization. Some states believe, in some cases, life begins at ejaculation. So any men who want to continue masturbating might be just caught for multiple homicides or serial killing. But it will, in some cases, have an effect on contraception for both men and women. And that's going to be a huge factor as well. Another problem is now that women who so much as even miscarry a child, through no fault of their own, the body just mightn't be able to accept the child. There might be other factors again involved. They can now be facing murder charges for miscarrying a child. Also, women who have been involved in incestuous rape, rape itself, any kind of sexual assault where she's penetrated, you know, anything like that, they now have to carry that child to term without the possibility of an abortion in 22 states. And this only adds to it even more. I'm happy to see the amount of celebrities that have come out. The likes of, I had a list there, the likes of Lizzo, who's donating 500,000 out of her tour to Planned Parenthood. Billie Eilish came out there at Glastonbury talking about it. Olivia Rodrigo was the same. Lily Allen came out as well with her on stage. There's been an awful lot of celebrities that come out, but what you have to look at now is the people that don't come out and say anything and their stance on it, because they either have a PR team working for them to see will it work for them, or they are registered Republicans who have to stand behind what has just happened. But either way, for women across 22 states in America, and possibly women looking at a mirror effect or a ripple effect of what's going to come through when this settles down, and what happens, the movement over here for the repeal, the 8, you're going to be looking at a huge ripple effect to the point where there will be Muslim countries in the Middle East that now have more rights for women than the Americas. And that's not going to bode well. They've downgraded women's rights. They're already looking at downgrading the rights of the LGBTQI community, and they are eventually going to end up in another Jim Crow era, where the segregation and everything else is going to be taking place. So it's a sad day, people, but you know, I'll catch you in the comments. Maybe I won't, because I know exactly what some of the commenters are like. But either way, you should have your say as a woman, definitely. As a man, standing by your woman, most definitely. But have your say. Get out there and make sure women have their rights. This is me over and out, guys.